tell it, Dad?
No, you go ahead. It's your show.
Okay.
I'll tell it right when she makes a mistake.
Wow, you're not right, but whatever. So we're in the garage, just finished the oil change, and I'm closing up all the bottles we used, and I'm just dropping them on the floor, all 8 of them, so I can pick them up after. So my dad says, why are you putting those on the ground? Because I'm not picking them up after. And that's the no profanity version. So then I throw a bottle up, straight up in the air. My dad kicks it and busts a light bulb right above my car. Like shattered it. Yeah.
And then Kendra proceeded to tell me, and I ain't picking that up. And that's the clean version of that one. And then we laughed and laughed and laughed. We haven't laughed that hard in a long, long time, so it was a good time.
Yeah.
And I picked up the light bulbs and she picked up the oil. And then we laughed some more.
And then we lied to my mom about why there was no light bulb there. Here for me in the late model division. We have done a lot of work on our limited late model in the past 3 weeks with having 2 weekends off. We made big changes, not only a lot of them, but big changes. And last Wednesday we were here for practice and we started to show that we were making a lot of gains on where we were before. Not only with how fast we were, but was definitely with driver comfort and how I felt in the car, and how some of the changes we did definitely affected how I was feeling and how comfortable it made me in the car.
So what are you doing?
Just putting on our decal for our new sponsor, Collins Small Engines.
I thought sponsorship was an off-season thing. You do it all year round?
We do, and even this season, during the season, we are already looking for sponsors for our 2018 season. Not so much the smaller sponsors with smaller businesses, but the larger businesses all do their marketing and their budgets by September of the year before, which a lot of racers don't really know that. So when they approach people for sponsorships, they get denied, unfortunately, because there's just no money for a new sponsorship.
Get the valve stepper over, Kendra. We're trying something a little different. We're running less stagger in the front than we have in the past.
Oh, in the front? Oh.
Yeah. Try and make the car a little more stable, I think, hopefully.
That would make sense.
You're leaking. 13.
4 tires, full set for tonight. I assume a lot of people here will be running 4 brand new tires, just because we have had 2 weekends off. That's just what I think, I'm not sure, but we'll see. We've also made a bunch of other changes to the car, which will hopefully make us a lot faster. We practiced the week before last, since we've last raced, and we were a lot faster. I was a lot more comfortable, and we have really good feelings about this week. So here's hoping that they come true.
Time to get used to your new throttle, because it's going to be pushing it a lot more than you were before, like not realizing. Just like
I'm good, Mom.
You get new brakes on your car and all of a sudden you put yourself through the windshield.
Last time we were out racing, we did change the gears, which we've actually even lowered further than what we did before. Now we're running an even lower gear from our starting point, and then a lower gear from what we borrowed last weekend. In the test, it definitely had a lot more power coming off the corner, and it wasn't giving me any wheel spin coming off either, which is a huge problem that we've been battling the last couple weeks. I just couldn't get the power down to the wheels, and we just couldn't get off the corner the way we should be. So with that change, that definitely is going to help me in some better lap times and feeling more comfortable considering I won't be loose in the car. And then the other change that we made was we found out that where I was sitting in the car, I wasn't having very good pedal control for our gas, and that was leading us to not be able to backpedal or to feather the gas, especially when we were getting out of control. So we were getting out of control with the gears, and then our gas pedal wasn't allowing me and my short little legs to get out of it and drive through it as it should have. So we've made both of those changes, and now me feeling a lot more comfortable and the car handling the way it should be, we are a lot faster and feeling a lot more comfortable.
I can look at these tires, but Jerry, we can get it up. That's quality right there. I'll take one, Richard.
The car felt pretty good. It was pretty fast, but the tires that we do have on the car are really old, and they've raced a lot, plus a lot of practice laps on them. So they're not the greatest tires. As the practice went on, it got better through the corner and out because it was a little bit tight coming out of the corner, which is weird because we usually don't have that problem. But then it was a little bit, like once that went on, the tightness went away, but then it got skatey, which was like not letting me get on the throttle as early or as hard as I wanted because it would get snappy on the straightaway, and I hate that feeling because it feels like you're gonna go into the wall. So other than that, the car was pretty good, but I think setup-wise, we have a good car for qualifying.
Whoa. The same as it was for practice, so. Jerry, can you throw the hood on there with him? I'll grab the pins.
Do you like the bar or what?
Yeah, the bar looked good. Clear.
The City of Orillia needs lifeguards for its new recreation center. Get certified for a job you'll love. Follow the path to becoming a lifeguard instructor or just recertify to keep your skills up to date. Join today, save someone's tomorrow. Visit orillia.ca for more information.
Being on the Midhurst studio tour, it's just such a great way to, meet the people in your area. In Simcoe County, there's not a street or a stream or a park that you cannot find inspiration. And it's nice to use stuff that's found that you can incorporate into your repertoire. And if I can't carve it, then we do a CAD design through the computer, and then we will cast it and then add the stones. That's what I love. I love doing really different things.
March is a pretty blah month, but not March of 2018. Orillia and area are hosting the Ontario Winter Games. We need you to come and volunteer. Check out how you can help at orillia2018.ca. See you there.
Feels like it's hung up pretty good here.
The steering?
Not the steering, the tire. It's not rolling well. Okay. A little bit. We'll check it after the group qualifying and see how it feels. Yeah, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's just not as freewheeling as I'd like. Yeah, a couple of weeks off since our last race has been nice. It's given us a break from the Saturday night grind week in and week out. It gave us a chance to make some changes to the car and come up last week and do some testing. We put in quite a few laps last Wednesday doing some testing. We played with some wheelbase. We moved some wheel spacers around. We made a big adjustment again with a panhard bar, going up with a panhard bar, still struggling to get the car turned through the center of the corner. We made a big adjustment to the throttle linkage as well, which is better going to be suited for the driver and her foot in the pedal, which will be a lot better, I think, and allow for some smoother transition into the throttle, which is hopefully going to be helpful today. So with the laps we ran last week, with the time we spent in the shop, we made a couple other changes to try and adjust the car, one of them being a big gear change. We made a big gear change a couple of weeks back in the middle of the night, and then we took some further gear out, so made a lower final, if you will, in the car, which will again hopefully allow the driver to get into the throttle sooner, faster, harder without suffering wheel spin. So we may end up going back up from where we are, but we'd like to try this for a change and see how it might affect the driver accelerating through, center of the corner off, and down the straightaway.
I'm a make a mess, clean it up later type of person. So we're gonna take off the right rear tire, and in between the different levels of the spring, we just put this in here, and it doesn't allow for compression as much as the other spring. Basically the same thing as a heavier rate of spring would do, but it's just an easier adjustment, and you can go up by smaller amounts with these.
So what does that mean for driving? What does it make the car do?
For driving, this will make our car looser off, because instead of having the car roll over and keeping it there, it doesn't let it roll over as much, and it'll kind of keep it up and let it turn more freely.
Fire it up!
Super comfortable out there. I haven't felt that comfortable in a really, really long time with the tires, the setup, the new pedal we have. So honestly, like, I couldn't be happier than I am right now for this 9th place and how the car is and how it's going to be for the first feature. I'm really excited for the first feature, especially because we haven't raced in 2 weeks. P9.
P9?
Yeah.
Good job.
Paul was only 1/1000th behind me.
Great qualifying.
Thanks.
You don't want to make any changes? You like it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
You send it in the feature?
I'm just gonna send it, as always. Yeah, I'm never comfortable qualifying. I really hate it, to be honest, but I definitely like the group qualifying more. But this qualifying, I felt really comfortable out there on my own, and usually I feel like I can only push it more when I have somebody beside me to kind of gauge where they're running, but this one I felt a lot more comfortable by myself. Hey girl, did you see me qualify? I know. Hey.
You're literally right behind Travis.
I know. And Rick Walt barely passed me like last lap.
Yeah. I was like, we're walking in, I'm watching on the thing, I'm like, oh my god, oh my god.
I know, I'm so excited. I'm so happy.
Yeah, getting down to the last 4 weeks of points we have. The next 4 weeks we race every Saturday straight. So there's definitely some drivers who, down to the grind now, there's not a lot of time to make up ground, and it's kind of go time from here on in. We have 4 nights, which means 8 features. So there's still a lot on the line. A lot can change from a points perspective. Kendra's in a group of one other car, and they can swap spots. She's got to do really well, and there's got to be some problems with the cars in front of her if she wants to catch those guys. So we're not out of the mix to gain a couple of spots, but she's in a spot where she can lose 1 spot if she has some issues.
Feature went really well. The car handles pretty good, except for after 1 restart. It was a little tight going in, which led me to get passed by a couple cars underneath. No biggie. We ended up getting the spots back, so yeah, it was actually a really good race. It was eventful, but the car was handling really, really well, and I was able to drive it faster than I had before because of the brake, the new gas pedal, and because of the gears.
Turn the corner to the outside stack it, pull it up, clear in.
And since the pedal, instead of the pedal taking this much to go to full throttle, it's only this much. So that's definitely a step in the right direction considering how short I am and how small my legs are. I just wasn't comfortable reaching to full throttle, so I was never quite getting there. So now we're here and it's comfortable too, so that's really exciting for us and the team. So I think when I got passed, I restarted 8th or 9th, and then I got passed by 3 people, and then by the end of the race, I was back up to 6th. So I made a few passes, and then a couple people went to the back, so I'm really excited with how we finished. We were able to avoid all the cautions and whatnot, and we ended up in a good spot with a clean car. So we made a lot of changes in the past, or a lot of changes to my driving style and my line that I really didn't like at all. And even though it's showing the faster lap times by tenths, even sometimes 3, 2 tenths, if you don't like the way it feels or the way it sounds, it almost throws you off a lot to try to get used to it. Even though you know it's faster and it's beneficial change, sometimes it's hard to get used to it. So I'm really glad that with this change, we were really comfortable in it.
Outside, outside, outside. Get in there on the 90. Get it in there. All the way behind you. No pressure. Get in on the bumper of the 90. Dig, dig, dig. Come to the second.
Yeah, that's our best finish so far this year.
You work for me. All right, stop it! Oh, Jesus, here we go.
We need to finish what we started.
Did you accept money in exchange for sex?
You're a bad dream.
What's this about? I think you should sit down.
Bladder cancer. It's the 5th most common cancer in Canada. The most common symptom of bladder cancer is blood in the urine. Please, don't ignore this warning sign. If you see red, see your doctor. For information and support, visit cred.ca.
We got my second best qualifying of the year, which was 9th, and then my best finish being 6th. I'm really excited. Like, I can't even begin to say how excited I am, because I'm racing against the best drivers in Ontario, 7 of the top 25 in all of North America, and becoming 6th in a race against these great drivers really humbles me, and it makes me really excited that I'm actually able, especially in my rookie year, to compete with these people. I can barely breathe apparently right now. I'm really excited, and I'm really glad that I was able to come home with the 6th place finish.
Dad is so excited. Dad's never been more nervous in the spotter stand. Dad's never been that nervous in a car. It was a fantastic race, smooth, smart, clean, not a mark on the car, some great side-by-side racing with some guys out there. And some breaks went our way, there's no doubt about it. We've had a couple of bad breaks, and all the breaks went our way this night. Just 1 spot shy of that top 5, but career best top 6 finish. Fantastic run. Let's go get it at feature 2.
I'm going to pick my number for feature number 2. I think I'm one of the last people to come pull, so hopefully there's only good numbers left in the bucket. A 3 or a 5 would be perfect. What's left? 6. So 6 and 4 are left. I said a 3 or a 5 would be perfect, so we're going to be on those rows.
So you can get either 4, 6, or 8.
Oh, there's 8 in there?
What are you doing taking, no snowman, no snowman.
Damn.
No snowman.
Maybe I'll let him pick first.
Go for it.
If I get 8.
That way you have no one to blame.
4.
4.
Yes! Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Who's next?
Inside, keep digging, buddy. Just keep going out there. It's going to come in nice. Inside, pull it away. Inside, down. That's the move. Keep digging. Inside, still inside. Just inside. You're like, pull back. Stay with these guys.
The car was handling really, really well at the beginning of the feature, and then near the end it just got really tight in the center. I think we just didn't loosen it off as much for the weather as we should have. I was scared to go too far because the car was handling really, really well in the first feature and even in the beginning of this one, which is unfortunate, but I mean, that's racing. So we hopefully in the next couple weeks can get our setup down for the second race with the different weather and stuff, and then we'll be golden. But until then, we definitely have some work to do.
Outside, 28 outside, outside, one lane only. Keep digging, get the left here. Outside, 28 outside, take your mark, one lane only. 28 outside, back. That's it, 28 outside, two back to the 3. 28 outside, don't miss it, 28 outside. 4 back to the 3. Second feature, the finish doesn't show how well the car ran early, and I think we need to go back to the drawing board and do some more work on some long runs. And we're running well for the first probably 20-25 laps. In the last 10 laps, the car just wasn't handling as well as it was earlier. And I don't know if that's something that we can do with the car, make some changes so it has a little more long run speed. And these second features tend to go, green for big laps. So you get a lot of heat in the car, heat in the tires, and the driver's hitting their marks. So. Hopefully we get some more long run speed and then we don't fall off late in the race like we did in the second feature.
On the front straightaway, I think I was rubbing tires with one of the cars, but I'm not sure. I remember going into turn 3, I got bumped and I was completely sideways on the track and then barely saved it. So that was kind of scary, but I mean, happens all the time. So I'm actually really lucky that I think, even though I might not be the fastest car out there, I think I'm pretty lucky with the car control that I have, and I'm pretty good with that. So that saved me a couple times, including once tonight. So near the end of the race, I just couldn't hold the car down. It just did not want to turn at all, and that's where a couple of cars got me. So I mean, I think we probably would have finished 7th, 8th, 9th if I didn't get that random awful car handling all of a sudden, but I mean, that's racing. So I'm just gonna take the positive morning that we had, and we had a really good car in practice, great qualifying run, and a great finish in the first feature. And to even finish just outside the top 10 at a track with these many talented drivers, these many cars, I mean, you can't go wrong with a 10th place finish. And I'm happy that the car's in one piece and our problem's just set up. So here's hoping that next week we come back out and we can figure it out.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Everybody out there fears me.
Sometimes luck runs out.
Who took my money?
There is a contract on you.
From who?
Jean-Luc.
I would never let anything bad happen to you.
It was your job to protect us.
You have a right to be angry, but I know you love him.
If I could, I would write every single name on my body. But